Hello nerds! Today I will show you how to create these flame lightsaber effects. Why? Well, after watching the Star Wars Episode 7 teaser and after all the discussion around the new lightsaber design, I noticed that the saber isn't exactly as the sabers of the prequel, the prequel movies. I mean, let's have a look at it. Okay, so you notice this blade is not exactly the same. It's not smooth. It has irregularities. It has even this flames or lightnings. I don't know. Anyway, it has this cool effect. So we're going to create something like that. Let's start with the project. Okay, so this is a footage of me in my room, and we're going to work on it. Okay, so let's assume this is our footage to rotoscope. So we'll start with the solid. Let's make it black and call it background BG. Okay, then let's create solid, call it core, and make it white. Okay, on this level let's create a 4-point mask. Okay, so for some aspects this tutorial is very similar to the Ryan Weber one. You know, the tutorial he uploaded long ago, and which taught all the YouTube to how to lightsaber, how to make lightsabers in After Effects, and with the following Star Wars fan films on YouTube. So let's. I will rotoscope this along these frames. So I will stop here and I will explain why later. I've done only a part of the rotoscoping. Okay, let's go at this frame. Now let's create the blurry effect. So adjustment layer, calling blur. I'm going to add on it fast blur effect, like 3. Oh yes, put it on the core. For now, we'll put the footage on screen so we can see what we are doing. Yes, this is good. Going to duplicate this 4 times, and yeah, 3. Then the second one can be I don't know, 8, then 16, then 32, and then 60. No, let's make it 80. Okay, now you see that it's disappeared because we need to put all this blur except the first one on screen. Okay, now we have something acceptable. Also, select the blur layers and hit T, and let's change the opacity. So the first one will have like 20, 25 of opacity. The second one will have 50. The third one will have 75. And this one will have 30. Okay. Also, on the core layer, let's add a median effect. Operate on alpha channel, and let's put it on 8. Now let's remove the mask for a second. Yeah, this smooths the mask edges nicely. Okay. Now let's add the flickering effect. Put this white layer on the top here. Bring the opacity down to 0. Go on the very last frame, and then we go on the wiggler, selecting both keyframe with shift, frequency of 16, magnitude of 17, and the smooth is the noise type is jugged, and then apply. Okay, probably we won't be able to see this effect so much in, you know, like 25 frames, because it's too short. Okay. Anyway, what this does, it makes the blade pulsing like it gives more energy feeling, energy effect, energy appearance. This layer must be on classic color dodge. Okay. After that, we can proceed with colorizing the blade. And we're going to call it saber color. Okay. Color correction, and we're going to select colorama, and in the output cycle we select fire. Okay. Now it's very similar to the ordinary saber effect. Now let's create the difference. New adjustment layer, we're going to call it turbulence, and we are going to put it exactly here on the top of the blurs. Okay, on this layer we are going to add a distort effect, turbulent displace. The amount of 50 is good. The size can be 5, 6, depending on how far the blade is. You notice if I increase the size, the blade is melting too much. So maybe 4 or even 3. Yeah, 3 in this case looks great. Depend on many aspects. The resolution of your clip, how far the saber is from the camera, and etc, etc. Now let's animate the evolution. For this 1 second clip, make the evolution 2. Let's see. It's too. I want to increase the evolution more. Let's make it 10. Yes. Maybe let's render at the third. Ten is good. Okay. Now we want to create these lightnings, flames around the blade, and what we are going to do. Before doing that, I forgot. In the saber color adjustment layer, we are not only to add a colorama effect. We are also going to add stylize cutter and randomize every frame. Let's put it on 3. Yes. Okay, maybe it's too much. Let's put it on 2. Okay, so this pixelate a bit the blade. It's not going to be perceived as a bad pixelation. Instead, it's going to be perceived as more energy feel like. If you see it's too much, you can still decrease it, like 1.5, 0.4. Okay, that's good. And also another effect, which is the vibrance. So the vibrance actually, we are going just to modify the saturation. Why? Because if you take a look again at the teaser, there are some moments in which the blade is very saturated and some moments in which the blade is less saturated. This means they applied to the saturation the same wiggle effect to the luminosity wiggling that we made here with the flicker. So what we're going to do, we're going to bind the saturation to the opacity that we previously made wiggler. So alt click on saturation and then drag this on opacity. It's going to create this expression and then it's okay. What is the problem now? He's going to increase the saturation always above 0, not never below 0, and we wanted the opposite. So in this expression we'll change the things by multiplying per -1, maybe even -1.2, because we want this effect to be really visible. And as we can see, now we go through the timeline. Yeah, now the saturation isn't changing much, but maybe if I multiply per -2, yeah, now it's changing. Okay, great. Okay, so let's have a look at the saturation change. It's visible, not much, but it is. Gives this personality. Okay, now we're going to create finally the lightnings. So new solid lightnings, make comp size, and we are going to put it upon flicker here. Okay, now we're going to put on it generate advanced lightning and make the origin here at the very origin of the hilt, the emitter of the blade, I mean. And then the direction, we are going to put it at the tip, in which case is outside the screen. Now, lightning type should be on strike, so that begins and ends here. Then this glow radius 0 and also opacity 0 here. We want it to be completely white. Yeah, let's work on a separate composition with this. So let's pre-compose this. Pre-compose is Shift Command C. Move all the attributes in the composition and let's call it lightnings. Okay, So now we are wondering how to work without the base footage, and we are going to copy paste it in here. And in order to not be rendered twice and ruin our work, we're going to use it as guide layer. Okay, so we can still see it, but it doesn't affect the nesting of the compositions. Of course, we are going to add the background, black background, and let's tweak these parameters correctly. So the core opacity, I forgot. Oh, it's already correct. Okay, now the turbulence, the forking and then decay. The turbulence should be something like 0.7, the forking should be 30%, and the decay should be 0.2, something like 0.23. Also, decay main core should be checked. This because we want the lightnings to lose their powers as soon as they get on the tip. It's a way to make it like I don't know, more realistic, cooler, and good looking, whatever. Expert settings. Okay, the complexity is 5. Don't want it to be complex, just one lightning. And then these 3 parameters. Oh, also fractal type should be spline. Okay. Core drain, fork strength, and fork variation. Okay, core drain something like 9, 10, 9.5. Okay. Then fork strength should be something between 50 and 70. Let's make 63. And fork variation should be 50. Okay. Now that's good. Let's animate the conductivity state. Make it 30. Let's see how well it goes. Looks great. Amazing stuff. Now, what minimum fork distance does is it tells you how far from the origin the forking will occur. So if they will occur here, here, or here. I mean, from this point on there will be forkings, and from this point to the origin there won't be forkings. So play with this. Yeah. Okay, so let's create the blur. We can use them, the one of the project. Let's make 3 of them. Remember, this should be on screen. First one will have 1 of value. Then the next one should have like 2. No, let's make 3. And the final one 12. Okay. And now the very cool stuff. We're going to create an adjustment layer. In the project we call it echo. I'm going to put it exactly over here. On this adjustment layer we're going to put time echo. With instead of 0.0333 we're going to put 0.00333. Number of echoes 6 or 7. Let's make 6. Okay. And start intensity should be 0.9. And the decay 0.8, I think, something like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, Now we can colorize this. New adjustment layer. And we're going to call it lightning's color. So in this adjustment layer we're going to put the colorama on fire and a posterize effect, stylized, posterized on 20, 21 should be fine. I didn't use the scatter on this, but the posterize because it looks nicer. Okay. Okay. So now we have a problem. Even if we have rotoscoped correctly, let's put of course the lightning's pre-comp on add. Even if we have rotoscoped the blade, the lightnings, they won't follow, they will remain there. Okay, so that's a problem because the only solution should be rotoscoping, tracking manually the origin and the direction of the lightning effect for each frame, which means the double of the work. We already have to rotoscope the saber. We don't want to rotoscope also the origin and the direction of the lightning effect. So what we are going to do is this nice thing. Using a script found on the internet called connect point to mask vertex, which is this one. You can put it into tool script editor and create the script. So once you have put this script into the script folder of your After Effects installation, you can rename it as you want. You should have it here in scripts. I've called it vertex to point. Click on it to run it. Okay, so how this works? So we are going to select to create a new object, and then we are going to take the core layer, copy paste it into this composition. We remove the visibility because we don't care about the visibility, we care about the mask. So we should stop now because there are some issues about the workflow of this, and I will explain why. Let's delete this core. Theoretically, I should have finished my rotoscoping before, and well, the thing is, in order to use this technique, I will need to add 2 more points to the mask, and I want to do that once the rotoscope is finished. So for 1 second, let's assume the rotoscope is finished in this point. Okay. Another thing, imagine you have this complete lightsaber rig and you want to use it on a new footage. There is a simple way to do this. We're going to change this footage to guide layer. Then we are going to select all of this, and we're going to pre-compose it in a composition named Lightsaber rig. Okay, and then in here I can put my actual footage and put the pre-composition on screen. Sorry, I need the edited version, so this one. Okay, this time we don't want it to be a guide layer, of course. So what is the point of this? If you create this lightsaber effect, it's like nesting of composition that you can import in a new After Effects project. You don't need to create all this effect every time. You can import it, and what you will have will be this composition in which is nested lightnings. Okay, so in order to use it, you just have your footage, then you drag a lightsaber rig here, and the rotoscoping will happen not in this composition but in lightsaber rig. You will simply drag, copy paste this into lightsaber rig, put it on the top on screen and make it guide layer, and you will rotoscope the core in this composition. You won't have to worry, this layer won't be rendered, won't overlap to anything, not even this one. So once we clarify this, we can finish the rotoscoping of this saber. Okay, so the rotoscoping is finished. There is one important thing. When the saber moves fast, you might want to make this smooth. So let's add another point in here, and with the spline make it smooth. Okay. Yeah, the median effect isn't enough in these cases. You need to manually smooth it. Otherwise, sometimes it will look bad. Okay, so we'll add another point also here, and the reason why you will find out now. Okay. Let's open the lightnings comp, and we're going to need the core. The reason why I completed the rotoscoping is that in order to bind the origin and the direction of the lightning effect, you first have to finish the rotoscoping. Otherwise, you will have only a partial matching. So let's copy paste this. Okay, let's copy here. We don't need the transparency. We created the null object, and what you're going to do now is selecting mask path and null object position. We're going to click on make guide. And what this does, it basically creates this crosshair, which indicates where the vertex are. Okay, and with this, now let's choose the one in the middle that I've created before, and then hit apply. Okay, it matched every frame, every keyframe created. It created keyframes of position values of that vertex, and it applied it on the null object 1 position. Now let's make another null object. and sorry, we have to do that again. So mask and position, make guide, 1, 2, 3. We don't see the we don't see the crosshair in this case, but it's the point in the middle of the tip, and then apply. Didn't I apply? What? Okay. Make guide and apply. Okay, sorry. Now we have two null objects, both with the keyframe positions. And what we can do now is, we're going here, advanced lighting, origin, alt click, and drag this on the position of null 1. Then direction, alt click, and drag this on the position of null 2. Okay. And guess what? It will follow. Yes, exactly. It will follow extremely well. So now we make one last thing. The lightnings, we don't want the lightnings to be also in the core, so we're going to duplicate the core, put it over here, and the lightnings will be on alpha inverted matte. In this way, the lightnings will be only outside. Okay, then maybe let's blur this a bit to make it smoother. No, blur. Okay, like 3, I don't know, 8. Yes, that's great. Okay, remember this thing, make it when we have finished with rotoscoping, not before, otherwise you have to do that again. You have to delete it and replace with the updated one. Okay, now this is the final saber effect. Let's render this, pre-visualize it. Okay, so it looks nice, especially when it does these things. It's very nice. Okay, you can change the color by going on Saber color. Leave the colorama as it is and instead add color correction, hue and saturation. Colorize. Click colorize. Now you can shift the values. Giving it the, oh yes, colorize saturation should be 50. You can give the hue that you want. Let's make it blue. More blue. No, less blue. Okay. Here we go. Nice blade effect. Okay, so the tutorial is pretty much done. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the next one.